Hey, what's up everyone? My name's John and welcome to my sailboat refit video. Last week I finished laying in the foam after I fiberglassed around the keel, and this week I'm going to lay the fiberglass over the top of the foam to finish out the floor, and then I'll start putting in the settees and finishing it up. So let's get to it. All right, I'm fixing to get the back of these floor pieces ready so I can glue those down. You can see it here. I just gotta knock off all of the old foam material or coring material, sand them, and we'll get them ready so I can glue them. But first, look at the mess I've got in here. I've got trash everywhere from doing the work inside the hull. So first I'm going to get this cleaned up, and then I'll get this ready to glue them in place. All right, I got these sanded, ready to go. Got these all sanded and ready to glue in. So tomorrow I'll come out here and start gluing these in place. And of course, after I glue them in place, I'll have to sand all this back or I'll fiberglass them in, fiberglass over the seams to make it all smooth, and then of course I'll put non-skid back over it. Alright, so I've got the floor glued down. I weighted it down. I put thickened epoxy on it, weighted it down, and then of course let it dry overnight. And now I'm going to get ready to start sanding this and put fairing on it. You can see here I've got all the pieces back in, and I put thickened epoxy on there, and then put weights on it, and now I just need to I'll fill these cracks with thickened epoxy, and then I'll sand it all back, fair over it all. And here I'll have to, once I get the settees in place, I will reform this section here onto the settee, and of course I'll have to sand all this area here and fiberglass the hull, the deck joint again to cover up the foam, and then I'll fill that up with either gel coat or paint and sand it again. Ultimately I'm going to paint it. Gel coat's a little thicker, so it might help me fill in any kind of voids or whatever that paint won't fill in. Alright, so I'm going to mix up some West Systems epoxy and put it in this bag and use this to spread the thickened epoxy in those cracks. West Systems epoxy come with the pumps, or you can buy the pumps, and so mixing it's easy. So it's just one pump of hardener equals one pump of resin, and then I'm just going to pour the this I'm using is this 404 adhesive filler. I'm just going to pour that in there until I reach the thickness that I want. I want to keep it kind of thin so it'll roll or run down into the crevices and fill up any kind of voids that might be underneath there. So when I sand it, it will, I'm going to have to sand, of course, the non-skid off of there, and then I'll sand everything smooth, and it should leave any kind of high spots that I may have to sand through the fiberglass. I'll have this underneath it. So that's about what I want. Yeah, I'm going to put it in this bag and I'll just clip the corner, use it as a spout. It's not the easiest thing to do to get this in here. sanded all the non-skid off the cabin sole here, and I'm getting ready to clean it up and then spread the first layer of fairing compound over everything here. Try to get this smoothed out a little bit before I put the settees back in. All right. One thing you gotta remember about this, it's not structural, this is just cosmetic. So I'm not gonna go overboard and use 407 as the low density fairing filler, and of course West Systems epoxy. Alright. Now we let it dry. Sand it and do it 4 more times. Alright, yesterday I put the first layer of fairing over this floor area, and it looks pretty good. Like I said, it's just the first layer, and I'll have to go back with several more layers of fairing. Unfortunately, I'm out. I ran out of the low density fairing filler, so I'm gonna have to go and pick up some more, and unfortunately I don't have time to go do that and get back and finish this before my work week starts. So I'm gonna have to end the video here, but I'll get back to this, finish fairing this next week, and definitely put in the settees at that time and try to get this behind me and back on to some other projects. So check back next week, see the at least the finishing of the fairing on the floor. For sure I'll get that done. Anyway, I'll see you next week. Thanks.